Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilada, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and you know I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. Let's look at what the astrology and oracle have for us this week, goddesses. We're going to make this week great. This is October 7th through the 13th. Yes. All righty. Yes. How are you all doing? I hope that everyone has had a great weekend, that the week has started off well for you. I'm wishing you and yours the very, very best. I keep saying it that 2024 has proven to be pretty challenging for a lot of people. If you've had a great 2024, I give you the highest kudos, high five, atta girls, all of that kind of good stuff. I'm so happy for you because there are some people where this is a banner year. And if you're one of those out there who've been struggling a little bit, it has felt hard, it has felt challenging, things have happened that have been rough. I send so much love. I send you a big hug. And I just want to encourage you to just keep going. That's one of the reasons I do what I do. I want to put something out there that gives sisters something to hold on to just to get them into that next moment, that next day. Sometimes that's just how we are living. So, yeah, let us all just honestly stick together and support one another. So, we're going to talk about the astrology for this week. We're going to talk about the oracle reading, and I guess both of them are actually pretty good. This is not a bad week. We are coming out of the eclipse season that we've been in. It's so hilarious when we look at what the eclipse means, for each sign. I noticed that for one of my signs, Pisces has to do with, it's like Virgo, the house that has to do with Virgo, organizing and systems. I have been organizing so many things in my business like a mad woman, a mad scientist, and I have been cracking myself up with it. So I hope that the eclipse has given you a fresh new start, and maybe it's something that you've been needing to get done, and you just haven't had the wherewithal to do it, and now that new moon has kinda kicked you into gear. So, yeah, that's exciting. We are at the part of the week where or the moon cycle, the moon phase where energy is building. We're in the waxing phase of the moon, and so you can use this time to take that action, to get things moving. And we're in Libra. Libra's an active sign. I notice it just seems like we get so busy in Libra season. There's so many events to do, there's so much work to do. Everyone's so busy in Libra season. It cracks me up. And so that could be some energy that you are experiencing. So we'll start off with the astrology, and then we're going to go into the um, oracle reading. And it's been a minute, but I am excited to share that I'm in a bundle that I am super happy about. I know sometimes on YouTube, they don't like us to use the word hack, but sometimes it's kind of like, why does life have to be hard? And why do I have to figure everything out? I don't. Because I can lean on other people who already have the knowledge to support me, and it helps things to move along a little faster. So, there's a coach, anyone who talks to me about business, you will always hear me talk about faith, and faith puts together these bundles. Sometimes they're about business. The one that I'm in is typically the ones that are about just different topics that help us to be better in life, that support us in our lives. And this one is called the Ultimate Life Hacking Bundle. If you look in the description box, you can sign up. Hey, guess what? You don't pay anything to be a part of this bundle. It's one thing that I love about bundles. You sign up and then you just pick whichever ones that you want. Definitely don't download everything. There's so much here. um, but there's the different topics: home and family, hobbies and crafts, mindset and personal development, business and career, lifestyle and spirituality, which is where I am. And what I'm giving away is my newly updated spiritual foundations class for the modern spiritual aspirant. So I'm very proud of this class and I love what I share in this class. And so you can listen to it no matter where you are on your spiritual path. For some people, it'll be new. For other people, it'll be a refresher. I have 2 friends who have put well, actually several friends, but 2 in particular, Deborah and Consuelo. They are in the lifestyle and spirituality, part of the bundle also. People have put in, um all of it is something that we charge for. We're giving it away for free. So it could be a course, it could be some type of resource. So health and fitness, recipes and food, and personal finance. So go on ahead and join Queens. Doesn't cost you a thing. So let's talk about the astrology for this week. I am going to circle back. Today is the 7th, but I want to circle back to the 6th. Mercury square Mars. And so I wonder how did that work for you? It could have been some of us were dealing with some stinking thinking, or we had to have some challenging conversations. I talked about this in the monthly video. It could have been that there's a little bit of overactivity in the mind, but in a way, this could make your mind really click. It could make it just go, go, go. It could be things around home. It could be things around relationships. And when I say home, Mars is here, down here in the in Cancer, and then we have Mercury over here in Libra. Could be an invitation to bring more balance between had something that has to do with the home or with the family. And but again, Mars is always about taking action. Maybe there were a lot of ideas that came to you regarding what you want to do with your home, because Libra is a sign that is about interior decoration. And so it could be you're looking at your home and it's like, I want to just do something different. I don't like what's here. And you got all these ideas, or maybe you looked on Pinterest or something like that to get some ideas for what you want to do. Could have been a little bit of a frustrating time, but I can imagine that the 6th was a time the 6th was a time where you were pretty busy and, well, let's say the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. You're busy, Mercury is writing, so it could be a lot of writing is happening, but maybe it's like you were pushed to write or something like that. Today, I've been doing a lot of work with tech because Mercury is tech. So it could be that you have been finding yourself working on tech a lot. I've been doing a lot with Chat GPT and preparing myself for the bundle so that you all have a great experience when you go through it, just making sure that, a lot with everything that I said and what I'm writing. So I'll put it that way just to keep it short. Also, another major important thing I want y'all to think about is Mars is in its shadow period, and Mars goes retrograde in December. And so we're at a time now where we're beginning to see what Mars is going to be all about. Now, one of the things about Mars um, going retrograde is it's squaring Mercury on the day that it went into its shadow period. It's not retrograde yet. So, that's kind of a little bit of a theme that we may see going on during Mars retrograde. And I think that's from December the 6th to mid-February. So it could be quite a bit about, again, these conversations that we're having, a lot of conversations, and they could get very heated. I actually think that that could be giving us some type of insight around things that we'll see during that retrograde that potentially could happen here in the United States. Mercury is associated with the news, and so, yeah, there could be there's a lot going on. Y'all know I'm very let me not say very. I am critical of the media, especially the mainstream media right now, really just the internet. Uh, I wonder if something like that is going to be happening, even though I do see that it seems like the media is starting to wake up a little bit about certain truths that it has not been telling. It's just been avoiding them. Let's see here. Mercury square Mars. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So I want to just emphasize that we always have to remember we're in some type of cycle in astrology. We're never really in anything linear. It's always a cycle that we're experiencing. The question is, what part of the cycle are we in? So, yeah, I honestly don't know. Let's see here. Mars went. I don't know. Yeah, but we're in a cycle, and so that's why I'm kind of like going on and on and on about this Mars retrograde and Mars meeting Mercury on the day that it went into its shadow period. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about it in the monthly video, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. Now, the on Tuesday, there's a lot going on. So I'm gonna start with Chiron. We have Chiron here in Aries, and Chiron is a wound. It's typically something where you feel like it's a fatal flaw, and it's very painful. However, the wound becomes the wisdom, and whatever it is that you learn from the wound, it becomes the medicine that you now use to help make other people's lives better. And so, first and foremost, there could be a wound to the mind that you're dealing with right now. Maybe it's some type of thought that somebody has said to you, and it's just up there. You could even be saying something like, "Why am I even thinking about this?" Maybe somebody you kind of got into like a tussle with somebody, or it could be something that you read, something that you've seen in social media, YouTube, television, all the kinds of ways that people communicate, newspaper, blog. You saw something and it challenged you in a way that brought up a wound, and it could be a wound to the mind. It could be a wound someone said something to you about your body, or you remember something. It's like you have this memory, excuse me, around something that happened to your body because Aries is the body. So don't be surprised if that comes up. And one of the things that I like to tell people is this comes up at a time when we're dealing with the subconscious mind when you can handle it. And a lot of times it does require us to have a conversation with ourselves. It's interesting. I was listening to Gary Zukav share in a video today how he got onto Oprah, and he shared the analogy that he gave her, the metaphor that he gave to her around personality versus like the soul or something like that. And he talked about how there's the ship and there's the captain, and each person is the captain of their own ship. And the people that work on the ship are all these different voices within, all these different parts of ourselves. And a lot of times, however the captain is acting, it's because that's the crew that's with them. It could be a crew that's full of gratitude, or it could be a crew member who's full of negativity. So we have all of that going on the inside, and sometimes we have to be that captain. We have to be that leader of ourselves and say, "No, not today." That's something that I've been dealing with today. It's like, "No, I don't wanna have that thought today. That's not how I want to live today." Letting it go, you know? So that's something, balance out that inner critic, balance out that part of yourself that likes to bring up that memory. "Girl, you remember when this happened? You better be careful," you know? So we wanna create more balance, wanna create more inner harmony, and it does take us stopping and being aware. It's taking that moment to just be with it, and to a certain degree, accept it. Not that it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna let my mind run amok like this," but it's more of like, I accept that this is a part of myself that is presenting this to me for some reason. Maybe I need to heal it up with it being Chiron, and maybe it's just kind of like, it's time for me to let this one go. Okay. So those are things that you can be thinking about also. But yeah, there's definitely, it's kind of like maybe you're overdoing it. You're helping people too much. Could be friends, siblings, and neighbors, coworkers, peers in general, someone you might be over helping a little bit too much. And you need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself to a certain degree first. We do better when we take care of ourselves first. But sometimes we do have to prioritize other people. But when that's out of balance, we need to do something about it. So, yeah, what's going on in the mind and what feels out of balance with you and other people. And whatever is creating this imbalance is due to some wound that you are operating from. It could be like, I don't feel lovable. And so I do things for other people in hopes that they will accept me and love me. So there's definitely something around wounding that can be coming up. The interesting part about it is we also have Jupiter, which is what is called sextiling Chiron. And so that is this wisdom that could be coming through. And it is offering it, some of it could be from you're listening to some inspiring teacher, or you're reading something and it is inspiring you like, "Yes, I get it." Sometimes it might require some forgiveness or a reframe, but it's definitely something that's coming through that is supporting you in this healing work, and it's helping you to expand beyond it. Because one of the things you have to remember about Chiron, this is the message Chiron reminds us of, and that is sometimes the wound is never going to heal. However, that doesn't mean that we can't have happiness, that we can't live fully. There comes a point in time where we can really be with that wound. We can really be with it and befriend it and appreciate it. And that is something that I think a lot of us can get to that point where it's kind of like, so many times it's like, I need to get this healed up today. And I remember in my Christian upbringing, there was a song or there was something about, a lot of people want God to move the mountain, but that's not the purpose. What we want is support as we climb that mountain and ascend that mountain and go through whatever it is. Sometimes you just gotta go through. People wanna go around. People wanna avoid the mountain. But when we even think about the mountains in our lives, the healing that is afforded us when we go to the top of that mountain, there's a deity in the Ifa tradition called Obatala. And this energy of Obatala is king of the white cloth. And Obatala brings a cool head and is full of wisdom. That Chiron in your chart, we all have Chiron somewhere in our chart. Well, the Chiron today, that Chiron is offering you that connection with your inner Obatala. which is full of wisdom and can bring that clarity that is needed. Sometimes you've got to go into it. And when we think about the heroine's journey, it's about going down deep into the darkness. That's the true feminine way of doing it. The masculine way, you go up the mountain. The feminine way, you go down into the darkness, into the underworld, and you're allowed to step into your power. And so that's something that I think is important for all of us to be thinking about. Like, where do we need to step into our power? So that's something that could be coming through for us. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. It could be that you have learned, you've become skillful as a result of this wound. Maybe you've picked up some healing skills or something like that. So that's something else to think about. Maybe there's some things that you need to learn. I've been talking to somebody recently about the importance of understanding the feminine body, especially when you're going through perimenopause. You've got to understand it in order to navigate it with ease. I put it that way. The more I learned about my body, the more I navigated perimenopause. It just became easier for me. And so there could be some learning that you need to do, some workshops, or it's just some teachings that you're reading, a course that you're downloading or something like that, that would help you to better understand how to step into this healing. And I don't want to minimize the importance of there could be some healing around a relationship that is going to be helpful to you at this time also. Okay, so then we also have two what are called trines. Now I'm going to tell you why I like trines. We have Venus trine Mars, and we have Mercury trine Jupiter. So trines bring ease, flow, opportunity, abundance, blessings. Don't we need that right now? So I am excited to see that Venus is trine Mars. And they're both in water signs. Mars is in Cancer, and Cancer is all about this energy of nurturance, and it's emotional, but it's also intuitive. It's very healing. Okay. And then Venus is up here in Scorpio, which is actually ruled by Mars. So that's a kind of powerful connection right there. And Scorpio is healing, it's deep healing of what? Wounding. And so, yeah, it looks like this is a healing week. That's super exciting. Now, Venus could be something around like getting this healing around self worth and self value. And Mars is all about taking some action, but it's like you feel inspired to take this action. I also think that this could be a week that is highly intuitive, especially around the time of these planets meeting. So the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, easily. These could be days where we are highly intuitive and, trust what you hear. I want you to make sure you take that time to um, I want you to take that time to write down what is coming to you. You could be getting some intuitive nudges around healing that Chiron that we've been talking about. Um, you know, Scorpio is actually a sign that has to do with money. It's one of the money signs. It has to do with other people's money. It could have to also do with things like getting a grant or a loan. Venus, is a money sign, so and she brings abundance, and it's interesting because one of the cards I have is all about abundance. And then we have Mars interacting with Venus. And so this could be an abundant week in some way. There could be a breakthrough of some sort around abundance. There could be also I think that this is maybe there's like a need for some people to do some healing around your abundance consciousness, since both of these are healing signs, or taking some action. Scorpio could have to also do with debt and taxes. And it's like, take some action to take care of this. This is a, a combination of planets where you can really get something done. And this could also be sexual. You could want to connect with your boo, and you just might want deep intimacy, but it also could make you want deep intimacy with your family. It could be a time where it's like, I just want to hang out with my family. I want to connect with my family. So I love that. And it is some energy where you could be hyper focused and get a lot done. I definitely want everyone to consider using this energy to do a little bit of healing work, some TLC, that kind of thing. That is very, very lovely. So the other one is Jupiter and Mercury are going to meet, and they are in a trine. So they're meeting in air houses, or air signs, I should say. And so this could bring about definitely our mindset, how we're thinking could feel like we could feel like visionaries, and just the mind feels expanded. We could want to learn a lot. And I see it as a time where we could learn a lot too, because both of these planets are connected to learning. So it's like you're really taking that time to learn something, but it might be a little bit expansive, like higher philosophy type of things. But one thing for sure, we're still underneath this full moon, excuse me, this new moon energy. And so this could be a time where you're getting a download around a vision of some sort. I really want y'all to open yourselves up to that. Or, we've been talking about this healing that we need to do, some of us at least. And so maybe this is the time where you will have some beautiful conversations. Maybe you get some coaching or consultant. Someone is a consultant and helps and supports you in that kind of way, where you can really see things in a new way. And yeah, that can help to bring some healing. And it's definitely in the mind. You could definitely get a spark to the mind where it's like you feel better, okay? And it could be a pretty social time where you're connecting with a lot of people. Maybe there's a lot of emails, or you're voice messaging a lot. A lot of connections could be made if you're meeting people in person. You could just be connecting with a lot of people, maybe even people that you know. And it's interesting too because Jupiter is going retrograde. And so let's see here. Jupiter goes retrograde on the 9th. And so with Jupiter going retrograde, definitely it could be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to get in touch with so and so. And for whatever reason, that person calls you, or, they follow up, or you follow up, or something like that. We could see some opportunity that is coming back to us with this Jupiter meeting with Mercury. And I think it's just so interesting that Mercury has met with Mars on its first day, being in the shadow period for its retrograde. And it's also meeting with Jupiter as Jupiter is preparing to retrograde. I love Mercury so much. Mercury it can help you get so much done. And a lot of it is through the mindset. That Coach Faith that I told y'all about with the Ultimate Life Hack Bundle. One of the best things that I've learned from her is, honestly, it goes back to Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's something that we go over again and again and again because we always forget it. We get down and out, and then we'll go get coached by Faith. And It's more of, okay, if you're thinking, "I suck at business," you can see why it would be hard for you to be doing business right now. And it's like, "Oh, that's true," you know? So, I really want y'all to understand that this is a transit that can help you to really shift your mindset and open yourself up. So many people say they want to receive whatever it is they say they desire, but they don't actually have their mind or their heart or their emotions in receptive posture. And so Mercury is one of those planets that can help you to do that. And with it combining with Jupiter, oh my goodness, there's so many opportunities that we may have missed because, Mercury, it was retrograde for a little while. And so now it's like, hey, let's move forward. Let's get some things done. All right. So I see this as just really, really interesting. Mercury is hands on. It wants to get things done, and I think that's very important. And it's also about working with other people. Mercury, even if it's just a small group, where Mercury is right now, and working with a small group. Actually, Mercury is ruling Jupiter, which is in Gemini right now, because Mercury rules Gemini. And so it's really bringing up the power of the small group and helping to support you in moving forward. So, yeah, consider that. Consider that. Oh, interesting. Interesting. One of the cards that I pulled today is called Speak Up by Mame Kumba Bang. And that is something that a lot of us may feel like we need to do this week. Speak up. And you may find that this is the theme, honestly, for the next 6 months. We could be in a phase where it's just kind of like, I really need to do better with, you know, sometimes it's like, I just don't want to say anything. Well, with Mercury being so active, it's like, nope, speak up. That's what this goddess is saying to do. So, this is something that I think is infused in this week and beyond. So, yeah, Jupiter goes retrograde. And, Jupiter, Jupiter in Gemini. Wow. My prediction, I know I make one pretty much every time I see Jupiter doing something significant. One of the predictions I think Jupiter is going to do, y'all know I've been talking about, we don't know what's fact and what's fiction here. And so I think that Jupiter can help us uncover the truth in the retrograde state. It just came in initially like, I'm here. We're gonna have a great time because Jupiter is that fun uncle. We're just gonna have a good time. We're just doing whatever's here. And now it's sort of in cleanup mode. Jupiter is a planet that has to do with justice, the law system, that kind of thing. And so, you know, it's going to be bringing some justice to some things. For instance, when my husband and I were in Hawaii, it just so happened when we were getting picked up from the hotel to go to the airport, we had a black Uber driver. I was like, wow, this is interesting. This Uber driver had so much on his mind. There was a white lady who reported him and they suspended his account, and he felt like it was such an injustice. And the way he described it, it was just, I don't know. Her race had nothing to do with it. She just sounds like everybody would be frustrated with this lady. But anywho, she won and he got suspended, not off of Uber, Lyft. The whole drive to the airport, this guy is venting to me and my husband. And when we finished, he was kind of like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and we were like, "No, it just sounded like you need to get something off your chest. We're African American just like you." And my husband's an attorney and even gave him some advice about like just write into the company, don't just email them. So, what is Lyft? Lyft is Gemini. Lyft is it's the gig economy. And so anyone who feels like they've been done wrong by the gig economy, some justice could come through. It's a lot of people who are working in the gig economy, you don't have the same bargaining rights as people who are part of unions or who work for a company where there's a human resources office. And so Jupiter retrograde could bring justice to people who have been done wrong in the gig economy, like said driver. He was hot. And for the most part, he's done well. Most everybody has done well, but that one day, it was just kind of like, yeah, something ain't right. So yeah, I just really do think that Jupiter going through Gemini is bringing back all this disinformation that has been out there. It doesn't matter, political or there's so much about stars. And when I say stars, I mean celebrities, just all the gossip stuff that we listen to. Maybe it's even just personal gossip in your own community. It will come back up. And I think that it could bring like people who gossip, you could be brought some swift justice or just the truth can come out because Jupiter is about the truth. And again, Gemini is a relational sign. So it could be bringing up topics with siblings, friends, coworkers, neighbors, those kinds of things. And it also could be about traveling. Actually, this is a week where some people may find that they have to get out and about, drive more than they're used to because this Mercury is very, very active. And so Jupiter going retrograde, you could also find something around travel. Now, it could be you want to go back and visit a place, or it's kind of like a trip gets postponed and delayed. It all depends on what's in your chart and how it plays out. I just like giving y'all the possibilities, okay? So, yeah, Jupiter goes retrograde. The energy is very powerful. I want you to open yourself up to receive a blessing of wisdom this week. Now, the other thing is Pluto is direct. And so this is it's not a lot of astrology going on, but dang, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is a lot because Pluto is the planet of power. Okay. It is potent. It is that when women do the heroine's journey, we go down into Pluto. Okay. It's change and transformation, and oftentimes through destruction. But it's always like it's the death rebirth cycle. So Pluto direct could be bringing something around empowerment for you this week. And it's like, I'm going to stand in my power. Okay. So, but Pluto direct before the US election, give you thanks. Give you thanks. I remember when I don't remember what it was. I think I looked at the Pluto return, the last Pluto return video I did before uh, Joe Biden dropped out. All I could say was it's going to be a nail biter to the end. And it's because of this Pluto. This Pluto is like, no, we're going to do it the Tina Turner rough way. What, y'all, it's me. I'm not Venus, okay? It's going direct in Capricorn. And so it's definitely about tying up some loose end. It could be something around success and career. It could be, these are general Capricorn topics. It could be something totally different in your chart, depending on what area of life Capricorn rules for you. But in general, it could have something to do with actually karma and death. And, with Pluto going direct, it could be you're like grappling with some karmic thing that's been happening for a while. And now you're on the other side of it and you've learned the lesson. You're more empowered and you're moving forward. Or, I mean, to be honest with you, I had said that Pisces um, full moon eclipse could bring a mass exodus out. And there have just been so many, news of people that we can see, celebrity like people. It's like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So it could be there's something around death, but it's something maybe you've been grappling with. But this one could, I think, too. And it's not to be negative. I don't want to predict death, but I like to have an explanation. And maybe people dying the way that they did after that eclipse had nothing to do with the eclipse. In my world, it makes me feel better. So Pluto moving direct on the 29th degree. This is a crisis point. I talked about it in the monthly video. So that is something that we can see. Capricorn does have to do with death. Pluto has to do with death. And so it could be a time where, we really hear that now. It could be a metaphorical death, but it's like more of this energy around acceptance. Okay. So, yeah. Now, once we get to Sunday, the 13th, we're looking at Mercury in Scorpio. So, let's see here. Venus is still there. So, we'll have two planets in Scorpio, really raising up this energy. Now, Scorpio brings in intensity. And with Mercury going there, it could be this obsession that we're just thinking about something, right? Venus being there, we could be obsessing about some love interest. It's like, ooh, this person, oh my gosh, it could be your own boo thing or it could be somebody else. It's like, just obsessed, right? But, it's also about research. Scorpio is about research. So you could be doing a lot of research. Scorpio's change and transformation. So it's along that Pluto discussion that I talked about. So it could just be an opportunity to, get your mind reset. All right. So, yeah. Then Mercury, before it goes into Scorpio, actually, it is going to square Pluto. I think that the 12th, 13th, and the 14th could be those could be some rough days. Okay. Because we have Mercury squaring Pluto, both of them are on the 29th degree. That's rough, but you could feel the effect over those 3 days. And then right after that, we're gonna have the Sun squaring Mars, and that is big energy also. Venus oppositioning. So, yeah, the 12th, 13th, 14th, and even 15th, I think could feel a little bit rough. And so, but I want y'all to know this is a week of empowerment. This is definitely a week for you for empowerment. And what does the oracle say? Speak up. There's Mercury again. There's Mercury. Now, I will say I love Sun trine Jupiter because that brings, you know, inspiration and motivation. But it might be to do something that you haven't completed because again, Jupiter is retrograde. And now it could bring back some type of relationship for people who have anything going on in the legal system. There could be something significant that happens around the 12th to the 14th of October with your legal case. You know, all the people in the news, I will be honest, y'all will know who I'm keeping up with as I speak, but it could be anybody. But that might be a big day where we hear something about Sean Combs. Ooh, now that could be a time where we're hearing something about even this whole Jupiter retrograde. That could be a time, and Jupiter's going to be retrograde. I'm pretty sure through the top of January. I think we'll hear a lot. It's so many rumors out. It's so much talk. And those of us on the outside, we don't really know what's true and what's not true. So I think we'll find out more about what is true while Jupiter is retrograde. But definitely something could be happening with that legal case around that time. Um, you know, on that day, Mercury is going into Scorpio, and then um, oh, look, this is a year later. Jupiter going retrograde. Hold on, let me see something. I'm talking about Sean Combs. It was around this time, but I think it was November. But anywho, there's something about the astrology that I'm looking at right now that reminds me of last year. But anywho, I do think that this could be a significant day something about that. The former President Trump, he we could hear something on that day around him, especially since it's the sun, because his rising sign is Leo. And I don't know what other big cases. Oh, the Supreme Court is back into they're back. So, it's like something in the news. We could hear quite a bit about legal cases happening because the sun is in Libra, and that has to do with legal cases along with Jupiter. But it's trying. So I just think that this is a time where a lot of us could be feeling very inspired and hopeful despite the challenges that might be coming up. Okay, the sun and Jupiter are still going to be bringing a message of hope and optimism, and we'll just kind of feel motivated, and that a lot of it will be in the mind, and maybe we'll be connecting with people who we just get along with and we feel inspired by. Okay. But it definitely is a time where it's another time where you could be getting a vision about something, but it's like you forgot the vision and you're gonna get it back. So, yes, that is what I have for the astrology. Let's talk about the oracle. So, the first card, like I said, that I pulled is called the manifestation card. So, yeah, this is a week of manifestation. I love this card. It's an earth card. So, what are we manifesting? Something material. And it says, when the goddess of manifestation appears, her blessings are soon to follow. Prepare the way for prosperity to come to you in all ways possible. Okay, she's saying always possible. Here's some examples. Inheritance, which is Scorpio, so that's a possibility. Some people could be getting inheritance, relationship, beneficial career change, good health news, property, gifts, and a raise in income are just a few examples. Take advantage of all the opportunities presented to you and open to her blessings. She brings the prosperous rewards you have been asking for. Now, y'all remember we have Mars in Cancer. Now, Mars is all about what are you passionate about? What are you focused on? And so it'll make us focused on Cancerian things, which one of those things is nurturance, especially the nurturance of the inner child, which is what I pulled from the oracle. Um, it's called the water child, and she has to do with innocence. That is something that we don't talk about enough. Returning to or staying connected with our inner innocence. We become so cynical. But there's this innocence that allows us to be supported by the universe. And this is a week where I want you to open yourself up to support. And so there's this little baby in this cowrie shell in the ocean, and just the baby is just, nestled in there and just kind of snuggled in and doesn't have a care in the world. The sweetness of this ocean child's innocence teaches trust, especially when the seas are stormy and life is uncertain. Challenging times can require going deeply within to find the true center where stillness is known. And guess what else? The need to control is released. During turbulent times, open to the childlike quality of innocence within you to find life's perfect way through. And so we just lose that as we get older. It's like, I just need to make it happen. When sometimes it's all about trusting in the universe, trusting life has your back, especially when times are stormy. We're so programmed to, you better fix it, you better get it done. But this is an opportunity. The universe, the great mother, the ancestors, the great father, if that's who you connect with, is inviting you to lean into trusting the power of the universe that created you, me, this earth. Jupiter is the planet that has to do with gratitude. What are you grateful for this week? I want you to be grateful. And sometimes we have to remember this is one of the things we have to tell our inner crew members sometimes. I done made it over too many times. I know I will make it this time. And a lot of times we don't even know how we're going to make it through, but we remember that we did. We can tell the story. So I want you to lean into trusting that that caring, loving nature of the universe. Every morning when I wake up, I say I live in a beneficent and benevolent universe that is always conspiring in my favor. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to remember the universe is always conspiring in your favor. I recently had to tell somebody sometimes a block is a blessing. We think everything is being blocked. Well, sometimes the blessing is the universe is trying to get you to see that ain't for you. There's something else for you. I have learned that lesson the hard way. It just seems like nothing is going right. And once I surrendered, that's one of the things that the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio ask you to do, surrender. Once I surrendered and just said, you know what? I'm just trusting the universe. A way was made out of no way. And sometimes we just need to have those experiences as a human to remember there is some force out there that's greater than what I can see and perceive. And I know it is working in my favor. This is my story. This is my testimony. I listened to a story about a woman who had been with Bad Boy Records, and she got released before her album even got released. I know her name is Tanya. I can't think of her last name. And man, she had it rough and she was down and out. She was at the point. She had already tried to unalive herself. And then there was another day she was just at that breaking point where, and it didn't work. So I guess she was just like, this time I'm just going to say, God, if you're real, then I need you to show me you're real. Make something happen for me right now. And a woman saw her sitting outside of this store where she was parked and was like, something ain't right. And so she talked to her and brought her into her life and ministered to her. And she still had some rough spots after that, but she and her husband are a singing duo. I wish I could tell y'all more of their names. I don't really know them. I just learned about them today. But sometimes it's like, yeah, and I say everybody who got blocked from being a part of Bad Boys, give thanks. Sometimes a block is a freaking blessing. So, yeah, let us let us trust. Let us allow ourselves to be supported by the universe and stop trying to be in control of everything. Be in control of what you can be in control of and just let the rest go. Interestingly, the support card from my oracle called Pathways of the Soul. How do you support yourself this week? I pulled the spirituality card. You support yourself through spirituality. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. So it says, what a wonderful support here. So, spirituality isn't religion. It doesn't come from anyone's interpretation or translation of human concepts. It's just energy, pure, simple, abundant energy. And it also is a state of graceful beingness. Goes back to just being in the moment, being with spirit, being with the great mother. Okay. So, one of the things that's important is a, a topic that's up right now, balance and harmony. So, that's important. Balance is the discernment of your choice in every endeavor. Okay. So we want to make sure we have that balance. And we want to make sure that we are bringing in harmony into our lives. And so I'm going to give y'all a color that I think is important this week. Oh, let me say this also. Spirituality is an internal experience. It's between you and the divine. And it actually, when you do that, it brings in bliss. So make sure you're working your spiritual practices. But here's a color I want to give. I'm going to give yellow because each one of these cards have colors associated with it. And yellow, according to the spirituality card, is about purpose. Jupiter is the planet that has to do with purpose. And so maybe this week we're going to connect more with our purpose. So you want to put on that yellow, and it says, as used here, yellow represents focus and grounding. It supports the process of realigning of both the energies and concepts in your life. So use it for focus and grounding and realigning with what you're thinking about and your energy or with your energy. I'm going to go ahead and give the animal. The animal is only one. Typically there's three, but there's just one. It's the bird deities, and they stand for liberation. So this could be a week of liberation. It says these deities come from various cultures, and they represent the ability to free ourselves up to access many dimensions and transform ourselves. Choose any bird or birds you want to assist you on your path. And one of the reasons I find that to be powerful is because I work with the energy that the ancient mothers, they're connected to the birds, very powerful feminine energies that are wanting women to awaken to their feminine power. So, yeah, what bird are you going to connect with this week? Lastly but not least is Mama Kumba Bang. And again, her wisdom is speak up. So, whoa, I've been dealing with that. Oh my gosh. So she's saying, speak up, speak out, speak on it. You have the right to be heard. For when you're not speaking up, you're betraying yourself. And you have to remember your words have power. So own your voice. As the old saying goes, stand up for something or fall for anything. Because this week being neutral is not an option. And when you stand firmly in your truth, you have thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and convictions. So what do you stand for? Tell somebody today. And her goddess declaration that you could use all week, I reclaim my voice. I speak out and I speak up. I told y'all Mercury is really giving right now. So that's what I have for you all this week. I appreciate you for being here with me. Again, go on ahead and get on the Ultimate Life Hacking Bundle wait list. It goes live in 13 days. And you can get my Spiritual Foundations course along with so many other great offerings in this bundle, and it costs you nothing. I appreciate you so much for being here. I ask you humbly to give me um, a like and a share or a thumbs up, comment. I appreciate you. It helps so much here on YouTube when people do that. But it also encourages me to get those likes. I'm just being 100. Yeah, I like to see the likes. I do. I like to know that y'all have watched and that you've gotten something from it. So maybe the like is just to let me know, hey girl, thank you. I got something from your share today. So I'm wishing you and yours the best now and always. All right. Connect again soon. Oh, hold on one second. I forgot to take, um, I forgot I put an overlay on. There we go. Ultimate Life Hack Bundle. Wanted to just show it one more time. All right. Peace and love to you and yours now and always. Have a great week, Queen.